Every once in a while, the internet will make me smile. Every once in a while, not always, especially these days. But I actually smiled last couple of days because I like what I saw. This is Daytime Today. I'm James Lott Jr., JLJ Media. As always, I always report on the latest things that are going on the internet when it comes to the soap world, the daytime world. We're coming out for the Emmys. And yes, we had to postpone our Emmy special because we had someone who was sick in our group, and our hosting, it's the four of us. So we will be talking about it soon. Don't worry, I'm checking in with him, and just stay tuned for that. That will happen, our Emmy special. But because out of the Emmys grew lots of pictures and people posting stuff, and the whole thing. And the usual suspect, people come out, and of course everybody's commenting, as they always do. And I saw and some of the actors had to respond back to some of the horrible things that are being said about them. Michelle Stafford was one of them, and Laura Wright was out there doing some stuff. But the one that was most egregious that I think people were just like, okay, we're done, is for our girl Tabyana Ali from General Hospital. I have to say, it's funny. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook, some of those groups can be hellscapes. Completely, just hellscapes. They're just really horrible. And they say all kind of stuff. Now, people feel the way they feel. That's just how, they do what they do. And for me, I'm not always on those spaces all the time because they're just too toxic for me. But I do go on every once in a while. I see stuff, and it's like the Tabyana stuff was just flat out racist. Just flat out. There's no other words to sugarcoat it or make it sound prettier. It was just some racist shit. So I felt the need, as I feel when it first kind of happened, she clapped back, but in a beautiful way. The way she did it was so classy and everything. It was wonderful. But it was the fans that made me smile. The fans were like, okay, and I'll tell you something. The Black women fans for last these 3 or 4 months especially been like, and we're done. I reported on that before. They're like, we're done. We're just done, period, with the treatment, period. We're calling everything out. We don't give 2 Fs. That's just now we're done. What I saw that was different is that I saw people, literally fans going, okay, Soap Opera Digest, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to report on this? Okay, Soap Opera News, Soap Opera this. They're going to their publications. They're going to their content creators and saying, okay, what's going on? What are your thoughts on this? Where's the discussion? I remember, I want to give a shout out to Novelli at Buzzword. He was saying, you know what, I really want to put something together at some point about this, soaps and racism. And it's funny for me, as JLJ Media and James Lott Jr., the receipts are out there. I have constantly and continuously talked about issues of race, colorism, ageism, sexism, LGBTQIA plus negative stuff for the last 10 years. I've been doing it. I made a choice. I'm going to do that. First of all, make sure I say this. I don't tell any other person how to run their shows. I don't tell anybody else how to respond to shit. That's all your business. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. So I stay out of it. It's like, you guys, some people want to do their shows light and breezy. Some folks don't want to get into heavy stuff. I know it's a double-edged sword because I can tell you right now, I went through everything the last 10 years for speaking out on stuff. It can be a double-edged sword if you say something, if you don't say the right things. It's a lot of stuff. So I would never tell people what to do. But it was very cool to see that the fans are saying hi, and they're tagging their favorite people going, what do you think? They're tagging some of their favorite their publications going, what are you going to talk about this? And it's funny because Soap Opera Digest came out with the story. I was like, I'm saying it had to be the fans that drove that to make them have a story. But they didn't say racists. They just said haters. I sipped my tea. That was enough for the fans either. They spoke out, which that's the whole thing. The fans, we have to remember, we do have the power in many ways. Like, if we don't read Soap Opera Digest or read my stuff or watch my stuff or this person's stuff, then we just go away. I mean, that's the whole point. We're fan driven. And I love my fans, the Lotties. I love you. I'm always like, I try to listen to you and see what's going on and what's the pulse. And when you ask questions, I answer like, you guys want to talk about this. But I saw this and I was like, this is really cool. People are starting to really have that talk. I don't follow everybody other people follow. I don't follow all the soap press or all the soap content creators. Some of them don't like me, so for whatever reasons. So I don't follow them. They don't follow me. But I just know I got a couple of pieces of flowers, as the kids say, recently that made me very happy that they acknowledge that I've been talking about this stuff. I mean, I just put out an episode about on my show Extra Connections Race Talk, which is a mini series I do all year long with Donald Peoples Jr. on soaps and race. I did on my shows, All My Children Like to Live. I read out all the Black characters from all time on these shows, saying, "Okay, folks, these are the Black characters. This is what this means." I did that on a random Tuesday. Like I just put that thing. I have a show called A Black Guy and a White Guy Confront with Jared Carroll. I've talked about race and stuff on this show, on Daytime Today, and on GHB Spotlight. Every week, we talk about all kind of stuff. We talk about it all. And I think, because I'm an activist by nature, I used to be an activist growing up, and I come from hippie parents or whatever. I'm always like, you have to call out what you see or what you don't see. But I have been ridiculed, I have been cajoled, I have been laughed at, I have been yelled at over the years for bringing stuff up like that. I've been challenged, but also I have been praised, and people say they appreciate that. And like Sprina Nation knows, and Tarai and all that, they know I'm all behind them. I've been an open supporter of their stuff and of their couplings. And I just think it's so for me, sometimes I felt like I was alone sometimes, because I would be out there really talking about this stuff, and you get all the stuff thrown at you. But I am welcoming anybody who's talking about it now. Any of the other people who criticize the shows, and it's tough. It's tough when race is uncomfortable. Colorism is uncomfortable. None of it's comfortable. We're not a post-racial world. We're not a post-racial country. There's stuff going on, and whether it's blatant, whether it's subversive, whether it's on purpose or by accident or just left out, it's still, the product speaks for itself, right? And I think every person, any othered person, a marginalized person, knows what I'm talking about. And I think when it comes to soaps, I look at these soaps in other countries, and they're much more diverse, and the stories are there. Sure, they have their own issues, but but for me, I'm looking on screen and seeing representation. Prime time to see representation. I'm watching a show called Loot on Apple Plus. I see representation. I see this varied representation. And on my daily soap opera, which I've been doing like almost 10 years, I've been reporting on, it's like I still am fighting for the same issues. I'm still talking about it. I would love to not talk about race or color or haters or lack of LGBTQI. I would love to not have to talk about that. I would love to trust and believe. I would love to. I would love to just be like, here's our soap, and everybody, just want the storylines. That's just kind of the thing. And I think, and with this particular instance with Tabyana, so her co-stars have come out. And I saw some people still yelling, "Well, why you coming out for her? Why?" People just, you can't please everybody, but it's pleasing me to see some of her co-stars come on the behalf. That if the fan bases are saying we're just done. This is done. We're done with this. This is crazy. And I sent my support obviously to her, and I said I've met her in person. She's a wonderful young woman. I've met her mom, who's another wonderful woman. It's not fair. It really, and the bottom line for a lot of this stuff is that a lot of these kinds of people, the racists, the homophobes, all that stuff, they've always been out there. So it's not like this is a new thing. They've always been out there. Just that the platform now, it supports this, and that's the problem. And so the platform supports people because there's free speech. You say whatever you want. But I still think the collective can shut things down. We can still shut things down. We have to kind of go, no, we're not going to accept how you speak to people, and call them vicious names. And I don't care if it's black, white, or whatever. I don't want any of that, period. Because I've seen some names say called Laura Wright, and I think that's wrong also. I think it's wrong all around. You can not like a character, that's fine. If you know the person and not like that person, that's fine too. I mean, trust me, that's all, that's fine and good. But it's the low hanging fruit. I remember Margaret Cho said that once. She's like, people will go for the physical because it's low hanging fruit. I even wrote a song about it. It's called "My Opinion Is the Only Opinion." It's been out for years. I actually took some of the things people called me and put it in my song. I've been called fat. I've been called my teeth are fucked up. I've been called, monkey face. I've been called, my lips are too big. I've been called loud and this. I mean, I've been called many things. I've had all kinds of stuff happen to me over the last 9, 10 years doing this. And I know that just because we choose to be out in the public doesn't mean you just talk to anybody how you feel like you want to talk to them. But that's what happens. It happens. And these actors, a lot of them just want to be on social media. They want to interact with you. They want to have fun. They want to share their lives with you. And a lot of them can't because of these fans or so-called fans or whoever they are who are saying, no, we're going to shut this down. And I like it to be fun. It used to be a fun thing where everybody comes together, you connect, and you have discussions. But I'm hoping out of this that discussions will start to really happen. I want to see more panels, whether I'm involved or not. If that's fine. I'm going to continue doing my part as always, like doing this video, and I'm going to continue doing my part. But I hope that this does open up more dialogue to start shutting that shit down, because this is not. There's no place in our soap world. We all, the bottom line for soap, we want all good soap. We want good soap. Soaps are not perfect, but we want good soap opera. That's all we really want. And we should be working towards that, not having to deal with all this other crap that's coming along with it from certain fans. That's all my 2 cents on that. And I may get ridiculed for this. Who knows? I don't know, who knows, or praise or whatever. But I promise you, I'm going to continue to do my part. Anybody wants to come on my show and do discussions about it, talk about race. We don't censor anybody on this. I don't censor. I don't do that. We have open discussions. Please join me. Any other soap creators want to talk about it with me and they want me to facilitate it, I will facilitate it. I have no problem whatsoever. If any fans want me certain parts of subject you want me to talk about, I'll talk about it. Just tell me the messages. I will do it. I'm 55 years old. I've seen racism up close to my face. I don't even care anymore. I'm just a person. Once I want good television, and I will call out whenever I see that's not good television or good outside television. I'm James Lodge, Daytime Today on all social media platforms. See you next time.